So this is Iron Man, the 2008 movie that introduced the world to the comic book character Iron Man, and at the same time kicked off a universe we all know today as the MCU. And inspired by this, countless number of producers have created their own cinematic universe in the Indian cinema. We have got the Cop universe, the Golmaal universe, Maddox's horror universe, spy universe, and now we have Dulquer Salman's superhero universe, or we can call it the Locaverse. So, what is the difference between Iron Man or the Loka film and all these other universes? Obviously, writing is a big part of it, but there's something more. The difference is that these other universes were never really universes to begin with. When the first films came out, they were never supposed to start a cinematic universe. I mean, there was no base ecosystem or any grand plan, and that's why they are filled with inconsistencies and plot holes. But on the other hand, Loka Chapter 1, while being an origin movie, also starts a cinematic universe from the very beginning of the film. It builds an ecosystem, it sets a timeline. And in today's video, that's exactly what we are going to discuss. That Loka is not just a brilliant superhero origin movie, but it's a perfect start for a cinematic universe as well. Let us first discuss why Loka is a great superhero origin film. Number one is relatable human core. A hero needs to have an emotional or personal struggle a general audience can connect with. For example, in Doctor Strange movies, Stephen Strange is a brilliant surgeon, but he loses that ability after his accident. His journey is all about overcoming that and his own arrogance as well. Another great example is Spider-Man. He's a college student and broke like rest of us, but he's got a lot of girlfriends and we don't. And then Uncle Ben tells him, with great power comes great responsibility, and that is what people relate to. That's the moment when he becomes a real superhero. And this is exactly what happened in Loka. In the beginning, we really don't understand Chandra's character. Like, why she's so quiet? Why she's so arrogant? But when her backstory is revealed, how she and her entire community were oppressed, that's her struggle number one. After that, we see her pain of living for centuries and losing everyone she ever loves. This was struggle number two, and it was shown really, really well. Number two, clear motivation. So why did our hero become a hero in the first place? Was it for revenge? Guilt? Was it an accident, or was it just their destiny? This clear motivation has to be convincing. Like Bhave Joshi became a superhero out of revenge. Batman is all about vengeance, and Maviran became a hero out of guilt. And Chandra, she became a superhero because of an accident plus hope. She turns into a vampire because of some unknown phenomena, and her becoming a vampire is the only hope left to fight against her people's oppressors. And I think this was shown perfectly in the film. The timing was just brilliant. Her community escaping, her turning into a vampire, and then her killing that king. This whole chain of events transformed her into a superhero, and it is really very convincing. Number 3, the transformation arc. In a superhero origin film, the transformation arc is the most important thing. There has to be a noticeable difference in the hero from the beginning of the film to the end of the film. If that doesn't happen, the film ends up feeling a bit like Ant-Man or Captain Marvel. In Iron Man, Tony Stark starts out as arrogant, careless, and a playboy type character. But by the end of the movie, he becomes a superhero driven by guilt, and now he is also a very responsible character. In Loka, Chandra also have a character arc. She doesn't socialize, she doesn't talk to anybody, she doesn't like anybody. And I never saw her laugh in the first half of the film. By the time the film ends, she has made 3 friends she genuinely cares about. And in the climax of the film, she almost lost her life to save those people, and she's actually showing affection for one of them. Now this is noticeable difference. Number 4, the villain's mirror effect. In good origin films, the villain is often dark reflection of the hero. Think about it. Joker, Batman, Spider-Man, Green Goblin, Doctor Strange, Caecilius, Aquaman, Ocean Master, and so many more. This parallel makes their journey way more compelling. Although it's a common template, it usually works in a superhero origin film. And in Loka, we have got a villain just like that. He was a really bad guy to begin with, and then he got some vampire powers which amplified his evilness. To me, he felt like a mixture of Green Goblin and Red Skull. And he was very well written as well. Just pure evil, no sympathy, nothing. He was evil because his upbringing was just bad.
It just shows your upbringing, sir.
Yes, my upbringing is bad. Now what to do? Mother.
Number 5, tone and genre balance. A superhero film shouldn't just be an action film. And if we talk about Loka Chapter 1, the action is only in the climax of the film. But it's all about having a balance of different tones. A little bit of drama, a little bit of action, a little bit of humor, and some solid elevation moments. And in this department, Loka absolutely knocked it out of the park. The humor in this film is so on point. Those 3 friends, their comic timing, their dialogues, their jokes were just on point. But when when Chandra's backstory is being told, the atmosphere suddenly becomes incredibly dramatic. And the fight sequences in the backstory and in the climax of the film are so well choreographed. It's this balance that takes a superhero film close to perfection. And because of this, a boring character like Chandra fits perfectly into an interesting story. Yes, Chandra was a boring character in the beginning of the film, but the supporting characters made sure her initial boring personality didn't make the movie boring. So we have discussed why Loka Chapter 1 is a great superhero origin film. Now let's talk about why Loka is also an amazing film to kickstart a cinematic universe. Number 1. The world building. Is the film setting up the rules for its cinematic universe? For example, how do powers work? Do superior beings exist? Are there aliens or not? Or what's the balance between science and magic in this universe? If the first film can answer at least some of these questions, then yes, it's a perfect film to start a cinematic universe. The post-credit scene of Iron Man made it clear that someone was building a team of superheroes, and obviously he was building the team because there were bigger villains to fight out there. The recent Superman movie straight up tells that metahumans have been there for 300 years. The good ones are doing good, and the others are going to cause trouble in the future films. In the same way, Loka Chapter 1 establishes the rules in its cinematic universe. It shows how different characters have different power. Not everyone has the same abilities. It explains what happens when you get bitten, who will survive and who won't. There's also a hierarchy here, a whole system for those vampires. There's someone at the top they call the Elder, if I'm not wrong. And besides Chandra, a lot of superheroes exist with completely different sets of abilities. On top of all this, so many other things have already been established in this film, and I think I can make a separate video on that. Number 2. Foreshadowing. Little hints that will build up the future films. And I don't think I even need to explain this for Loka Chapter 1. I mean, they basically showed us all the heroes already, and there was insane amount of foreshadowing in this film. If you paid attention to those animated scenes, they were loaded with Easter eggs. For one frame in that animated sequence, they showed Dulquer Salmaan himself. But you need a sharp eye to notice that. And since I noticed that in the beginning of the film, I knew that Dulquer Salmaan was going to show up. And he did. They even show Sunny in an ancient era animated sequence and later reveal that someone like him really existed back then. Isn't that crazy? This is exactly the kind of thing we used to spend hours discussing in Marvel and DC movies. Number 3. Tone consistency for the universe. The first film of a universe decides how gritty, humorous or dark the future films will be. The MCU's lighter tone was set by Iron Man. The DCU's dark and gritty tone was set by Man of Steel. And just like that, Loka Chapter 1 has set the tone as humorous mostly and dramatic in some places. We saw Tovino Thomas in the film. His abilities are insane, but that guy is a total rascal. And he's always doing some funny stuff as well. So if a movie is made on that character, it should be mostly humorous. And on the other hand, if a movie is made on Dulquer Salmaan's character, it is going to be an action-packed film because that character was serious and I think someone else would have to handle the humor part. Number 4. Stakes beyond the hero. It's one person's origin story, sure, but do their actions impact the entire world? If the answer is yes, then the groundwork for a cinematic universe is already very strong. For example, the events in Man of Steel directly set up Batman vs Superman. They are what pushed Batman into action and what bothered Lex Luthor. And Chandra has done a lot of things in this film that has put a lot of people on high alert. The king that she defeated in the past is still alive. He's as old as her, who had been living for centuries. So yes, he is looking for Chandra. And now this whole vampire ecosystem that was running underground might get exposed because of Chandra, which could bring people connected to it out of the woodwork from every corner of the world. Number 5. Mythos building. Does the film establishes a larger theme that will bind multiple heroes together? Like the MCU's was heroes united to fight cosmic threats, and the DCU's was gods among men. The story of Loka is very inspired by Indian folklore and cultural symbolism. This isn't just about Chandra getting powers by accident. It's linked to an ancient divine energy or a cosmic order. This way, the superhero's origin story doesn't just feel personal, but it has a larger destiny feel to it. This is like the MCU's Infinity Stones foundation or the DCU's old gods concept. The underlying theme of Loka seems to be humans with divine powers and how their choices impact the humanity. This provides a philosophical backbone that can be repeated in every film. So when you put it all together, you see why Loka feels so different. It's not just another movie that might get a sequel. It succeeds on two massive fronts. It tells a deeply personal and compelling origin story for its main character. and it lays down a rock solid, incredibly detailed foundation for a whole universe. And that's the key thing that so many others have missed. Loka wasn't an accident, it was designed this way with a clear vision for the future. Every little detail, every Easter egg, every new character feels intentional. It's not just the start of a new franchisee, it feels like the start of a whole new era for Indian superhero stories, built with passion, planning, and deep respect for both the genre and the audience. So, this is what I think about the Loka film and how it sets up the cinematic universe. Let me know what you guys think about this universe in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.
So tell me you got it right now.